President. Good to see you, Mr. President. This is about you. This is about the soul of the nation. Good to see you. Soul of the nation. Soul of the nation. Listen, you see Barbara. You see Barbara Lee right here. You see Barbara Lee. You see Barbara
Ok, Biden ha llegado al Estado de la Unión, señores. Ahí podemos ver a Marjorie Taylor Greene detrás de Joe Biden. Estamos en este momento en vivo y en directo en el canal con el Estado de la Unión. Observar, señores, que Joe acaba de llegar hace minutos al Capitolio para hablar al país. Ok, vamos a ver qué va a decir Biden. ¿Qué metedura de pata va a dar en este momento a la nación, señores? Vamos a ver qué metedura de pata va a dar Biden en este momento. ¿Será que Biden está perdido? Porque no termina de llegar. El señor no termina de llegar. Ah, ok, ahí las personas están diciendo 4 años más. Sí, Luis, 4 años más. 4 años más. 4 años más. Están diciendo las personas. Y Nancy quiere ser la protagonista. Ella siempre quiere ser la protagonista de todo. No, o sea, básicamente Nancy Pelosi quiere ser la protagonista y porque no solo rompiendo los papeles a Donald Trump, sino también quiere estar ante las cámaras. Ella le encanta una cámara haciendo el show. Cuatro años más. ¿Quién va a querer? ¿Ustedes quieren 4 años más con Biden? Señores, imagínense, 4 años más con Biden y Estados Unidos queda arruinado. Arruinado. Yo retiro mis fondos, básicamente, cancelo mi cuenta bancaria en los Estados Unidos. Literal. Saco todos los fondos en los Estados Unidos y lo deposito en otra cuenta. En una cuenta, no sé, en Suiza, en Liechtenstein, no sé. Pero de verdad, 4 años más Biden y literal canceló mi cuenta americana. ¿Por qué? Señores, no. ¿Quién va a querer ser presidente? Yo no seguiría ahorrando en dólares. Me daría hasta miedo.
Tony. Thank you. Here's a drill. Good evening.
Buenas noches.
Good evening.
Buenas noches.
If I were smart, I'd go home now. Mr. Speaker, Madam Vice President, members
Presidente de la Cámara,
of
vicepresidenta,
Congress, my fellow Americans.
mis americanos.
In January 1941, Franklin Roosevelt came to this chamber to speak
En enero de 1941,
to the nation, and he said, I address
habló para la nación y dijo,
you at a moment unprecedented in the history of the Union. Hitler was on the march. War was raging in Europe. President Roosevelt's purpose was to wake up Congress and alert the American people that this was no ordinary time. Freedom and democracy were under assault
el presidente Roosevelt dijo, libertad para la democracia,
in the world.
libertad para el mundo.
Tonight,
Esta noche
I come to this same chamber to address the nation.
estoy aquí para hablar a la nación.
Now,
Ahora
it's we who face an unprecedented moment in the history of the Union. And yes, my purpose tonight is to wake up the Congress
mi propósito esta noche es despertar al Congreso
and alert the American people that this is no ordinary moment either.
y a decirle a las personas que no, esto no va a terminar.
Not since President Lincoln and the Civil War have freedom and democracy been under assault at home as they are today. What makes our moment rare is that freedom and democracy are under attack both at home and overseas at the very same time. Overseas, Putin of Russia is on the march,
Más allá de los mares, tenemos a Putin y a Rusia
invading Ukraine
invadiendo Ucrania
and sowing chaos throughout Europe and beyond.
y haciendo caos a Europa.
If anybody in this room thinks Putin will stop at Ukraine, I assure you he will not.
Si muchos piensan que van a detener a Putin de Ucrania, debo decirles que no.
But Ukraine can stop Putin.
Pero Ucrania puede detener a Rusia, a Putin.
Ukraine can stop Putin
pero Ucrania puede detener a Rusia
if we stand with Ukraine
y estamos con Ucrania
and provide the weapons.
y le vamos a proveer armas. Kamala, pero siéntate, ¿por qué se para tanto?
That needs to defend itself. That is all.
Eso es todo.
That is all Ukraine is asking.
Eso es todo lo que Ucrania está pidiendo.
They're not asking for American soldiers.
No está pidiendo soldados americanos.
In fact, there are no American soldiers at war in Ukraine, and I'm determined to keep it that way. But now, assistance to Ukraine is being blocked
Pero el sistema de Ucrania está perdido, está malo,
by those who want to
está bloqueado.
walk away from our world leadership. It wasn't long ago when a Republican president named Ronald Reagan thundered, "Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall." Now,
El presidente está hablando sobre una ley de Ronald Reagan.
now my predecessor, a former Republican president, tells Putin, quote, "Do whatever the hell you want."
El expresidente Donald Trump habló y llamó al presidente Putin, haz lo que quieras.
That's a quote.
Eso fue lo que citó.
A former president actually said that,
El expresidente dijo eso.
bowing down to a Russian leader. I
Bombea a cualquier líder de la
think
OTAN.
it's outrageous, it's dangerous, and it's unacceptable.
Es peligroso y es inaceptable.
America is a founding member of NATO, the military alliance of democratic nations created after World War II to prevent war and keep the peace. And today, we've made NATO stronger than ever. We welcomed Finland to the alliance last year. And just this morning, Sweden officially joined, and their minister is here tonight. Can they stand up? Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And they know how to fight. Mr. Prime Minister, welcome to NATO, the strongest military alliance the world has ever seen.
Ok, el presidente está hablando sobre el nuevo miembro de la OTAN, Suecia. El ministro de Suecia está presente.
I say this to Congress.
Le dije al Congreso,
We have to stand up to Putin.
tenemos que luchar contra Putin.
Send me a bipartisan national security bill.
Necesitamos una seguridad nacional.
History is literally watching. History is
La historia lo está viendo.
watching.
La historia lo está viendo.
If the United States walks away,
Y Estados Unidos está apartándose.
it will put Ukraine at risk.
Estamos poniendo a Ucrania en riesgo.
Europe is at risk. The free
Europa está en riesgo.
world will be at risk, emboldening others to
La libertad en riesgo.
do what they wish to do us harm. My message to President Putin, who I've known for a long time, is simple.
Mi mensaje para Putin es simple.
We will not walk away.
No vamos a apartarnos.
We will not bow down.
No nos vamos a rendir.
I will not bow down.
No me voy a rendir.
In a literal sense, history is watching.
La historia está viendo.
History is watching.
La historia está viendo.
Just like history watched 3 years ago on January 6th.
Como lo que pasó el 6 de enero.
When insurrectionists
Miren en la cara a Mike Johnson.
stormed this very Capitol and placed a dagger to the throat of American democracy.
Cuando han ido dentro del Capitolio de los Estados Unidos el 6 de enero. Miren la cara de Mike Johnson.
Many of you are here
Muchos de aquí,
on that darkest of days.
uno de los días más oscuros en la historia de los Estados Unidos, como yo lo cataloga, peores que el 9/11.
We all saw with our own eyes the insurrectionists were not patriots.
La insurrección de los patriotas.
They'd come to stop the peaceful transfer of power, to overturn the will of the people. January 6th lies
El 6 de enero mintió
about the 2020 election and the plots to steal the election posed
de lo de la elección del
a
2020.
gravest threat to U.S. democracy
Una amenaza para nuestra democracia,
since the Civil War.
para una guerra civil.
But they failed.
Pero ellos fallaron
America stood.
y los Estados Unidos lo entendió.
America stood strong and democracy prevailed. We must be honest. The threat to
Tenemos que ser honestos,
democracy must be defended.
que la amenaza para Estados Unidos tiene que ser defendida.
My predecessor and some of you here seek to bury the truth about January 6th. I will not do that. This is the moment to speak the truth and to bury the lies.
Este es el momento para hablar de la verdad.
Here's the
Mírenle la cara al presidente de la Cámara de Representantes, señores.
simple truth. You can't love your country only when you win.
Tú no puedes amar un país como la forma para poder ganar. Pero miren, señores, la mayoría de la Cámara de Representantes que está sentada y solo un grupo minoritario de Joe Biden lo apoya. Ahí está, miren, señores, o sea, no estoy mintiendo, miren esto. Miren eso.
As I've done ever since being elected to office, I ask
Cuando fui electo para la oficina,
all of you without regard to party to join together and defend democracy.
que vamos a unirnos juntos para defender la democracia.
Remember your oath of office of defending against all threats, foreign and domestic.
Vamos a defender afuera y domésticamente.
Respect free and fair elections. Restore trust in our institutions.
Creamos una elección libre y libre en las instituciones.
And make clear political violence has absolutely no place in America, zero place.
No va a haber una política divisora en ningún lugar de los Estados Unidos.
Again,
Nuevamente,
it's not hyperbole to suggest history is watching.
la historia está viendo.
We're watching.
Está
Your
viendo.
children and grandchildren will read about this day and what we do. History is watching another assault on freedom. Joining us tonight is Latoya Beasley, a social worker from Birmingham, Alabama. 14 months ago, she and her husband welcomed a baby girl thanks to the miracle of IVF. She scheduled treatments to have that second child, but the Alabama Supreme Court shut down IVF treatments across the state, unleashed by a Supreme Court decision overturning Roe v. Wade. She was told her dream would have to wait. What her family had got through should never have happened.
Joe Biden está hablando sobre la legislación de Roe versus Wade. Se los dije, señores. ¿Se acuerdan de la transmisión hace unos minutos de que Donald Trump, de que Joe Biden va a hablar sobre Roe versus Wade y se va a tomar desde esa ley para poder ganar la elección? Miren, ahí está hablando.
Unless Congress acts, it could happen again. So tonight, let's stand up for families like hers. To my friends across the aisle, don't keep this waiting any longer.
Tenemos que afianzarnos de esta familia, las familias que realmente quieren apoyar la legislación de Roe versus Wade.
Guarantee the right to AVF. Guarantee it nationwide. Like most Americans, I believe Roe v. Wade got it right. I thank Vice President Harris for being an incredible leader, defending reproductive freedom, and so much more. Thank you. My predecessor came to office determined to see Roe v. Wade overturned. He's the reason it was overturned, and he brags about it. Look at the chaos
Mira el caos,
that's resulted.
lo que ha hecho ante la revocación de Roe versus Wade.
Joining us tonight is Kate Cox, the wife and mother from Dallas. She's become pregnant again and had a fetus of a fatal condition. Her doctor told Kate that her own life.
Ok, entonces Biden está reclutando básicamente a varias personas que le quitaron el derecho de Roe versus Wade para poder abortar y está utilizando estas personas a favor de su campaña
Her
presidencial.
ability to have children in the future were at risk if she didn't act. Because Texas law banned her ability to act, Kate and her husband had to leave the state to get what she needed. What her family got through should have never happened as well, but it's happening in too many others. There are state laws banning the freedom to choose, criminalizing doctors.
Criminalizar a doctores. Biden está hablando de que cómo puede ser posible que le quiten a las personas el derecho a elegir.
Forcing survivors of rape and incest to leave their states to get the treatment they need. Many of you in this chamber and my
Muchos
predecessor are promising to pass a national ban on reproductive freedom. My God, what freedom else would you take away? Look,
¿Qué libertad tú puedes tomar afuera de esto?
it's a decision to overturn Roe v. Wade. The Supreme Court majority wrote the following, and with all due respect, justices, women are
Con todo el respeto, jueces de la Corte Suprema, la legislación de Roe versus Wade no debería haber sido revocada.
not without electoral power. Electoral or political power. You're about to realize just how much you're right about that. Clearly. Those bragging about overturning Roe v. Wade have no clue about the power of women, but they found out.
Todos esos jueces que eligieron para revocar la legislación del Roe versus Wade no han entendido las necesidades de las mujeres.
When reproductive freedom was on the ballot, we won in 2022 and 2020, and we'll win again in 2024.
Biden dice, vamos a ganar en el 2024. If you, the American people, send me a Congress that supports the right to choose, I promise you, I'll restore Roe v. Wade as the law of the land again. Biden está diciendo de que si me eligen 4 años más, le prometo al Congreso y le prometo al pueblo americano que regresaré la legislación en Roe versus Wade.
Folks, America cannot go back.
Los americanos no pueden regresar.
I'm here tonight to show what I believe is the way forward, because I know how far we come. 4 years ago next week, before I came to office, the country was hit by the
4 años antes,
worst
los americanos fueron golpeados
pandemic and the worst economic crisis in a century.
por la peor pandemia en siglos.
Remember the fear,
¿Recuerdas esto?
record losses. Remember the spikes in crime and the murder rate, raging virus that took more than 1 million American lives.
Que tomaron más de 1 millón de vidas en lo que tiene que ver con el virus.
Of loved ones, millions left behind. A mental health crisis of isolation and loneliness. A president, my predecessor, failed the most basic presidential duty that he owes to American people, the duty to care.
El deber del presidente anterior, la administración anterior, falló en lo que tiene que ver con la respuesta ante el impacto y el choque a los Estados Unidos en lo que tiene que ver con el virus. Mírenle la cara a Mike Johnson.
I think that's unforgivable.
Eso es inolvidable.
Came to office determined to get us through one of the toughest periods in the nation's history.
Tomé la oficina cuando hubo un periodo duro bajo la administración anterior.
We have.
Lo tuvimos,
It doesn't make news in 1,000 cities and towns.
donde miles y miles de ciudades en la ciudad, in the town,
The American people are writing the greatest comeback story never told. So let's tell the story here. Tell it here and now. America's comeback is building the future of American possibilities.
Actualmente mi política va a regresar las posibilidades a los americanos.
Building an economy from the middle out and the bottom up, not the top down.
Construir una economía.
Investing in all America.
Invertir en todos los americanos.
In all Americans.
En todos los americanos.
Make sure everyone has a fair shot. And we leave no one behind.
Y dejar que todos tengan el primer shot, lo que tiene que ver con la vacuna.
The pandemic no longer controls our lives. The vaccine that saved us from COVID
La vacuna es segura.
are now being used to beat cancer, turning setback into comeback. That's what America does. That's what America does. Folks, my inherited economy is on the brink.
Escuché sobre la economía.
Our economy is literally the envy of the world. 15 million new jobs in just 3 years.
50 millones de nuevos puestos, nuevos trabajos en 3 años.
Record.
Un número récord.
A record.
Un número récord. El tipo es mentiroso, de verdad.
Unemployment at 50-year lows.
Y la tasa de desempleo, 50% menos.
A record 16 million Americans are starting small businesses, and each one is
El récord actualmente es de 60 millones.
a literal act of hope. With historic job growth and small business growth for Black and Hispanics and Asian Americans, 800,000 new manufacturing jobs in America and counting.
Joe Biden habla de nuevas aperturas de smaller businesses, empresas pequeñas de hispanoamericano, Asian America, Hispanic America, Black America, todo lo que tiene que ver con americanos de color, hispanos americanos, asianos.
Where is it written we can't be the manufacturing capital of the world? We are, we will. More people have health insurance today. More people have health insurance today than ever before. The racial wealth gap is as small as it's been in 20 years. Wages keep going up, inflation keeps coming down. Inflation has dropped from 9% to 3%, the lowest in the world and tending lower.
Wow. Biden está diciendo que la inflación pasó de 9% a 3%, uno de los más bajos en el mundo.
The landing is and will be soft. And now, instead of importing foreign products and exporting American jobs, we're exporting American products and creating American jobs.
Estamos exportando más productos actualmente en la historia, estamos creando más trabajo.
Right here in America.
Aquí mismo en Estados Unidos.
Where they belong.
Parecen las focas, las propias focas aplaudiendo todas las palabras que dice Biden.
And it takes time, but the American people are beginning to feel it. Consumer studies show consumer confidence is soaring. Buy America has been the law of the land since the 1930s. Past administrations, including my predecessor, including some Democrats as well in the past, failed to buy American. Not anymore. On my watch, federal projects that you fund, like helping build American roads, bridges, and highways, will be made with American products and built by American workers.
Biden está hablando sobre la construcción y todo lo que tiene que ver con las carreteras, construcción de puentes, construcción de toda la industria, de la industria manufacturera de autopistas, y que todo esto ha sido creado en Estados Unidos.
creating good paying American jobs. And thanks to our CHIPS and Science Act, the United States is investing more in research and development than ever before.
Estados Unidos en este momento está gastando recursos como nunca antes.
During the pandemic, a
Durante la pandemia,
shortage of semiconductors, chips,
los semiconductores, los chips,
that drove up the price of everything from cell phones to automobiles,
que los semiconductores es una parte fundamental de los teléfonos, un elemento para la construcción de los iPhones, teléfonos.
and by the way, we invented those chips right here in America.
Creamos esos microchips, los semiconductores aquí en Estados Unidos,
Well, instead of having to import them,
en vez de importarlos
private companies are now
por compañías privadas desde China,
investing billions of dollars
invirtiendo millones y billones de dólares
to build new chip factories here in America,
para crear nuevos semiconductores, chips aquí en Estados Unidos,
creating tens of thousands of jobs.
creando miles y miles de trabajos.
Many of those jobs paying $100,000 a year and don't require a college degree.
Muchos de estos empleados no tenían ni un título y aún así fueron contratados.
In fact, my policies have attracted $650 billion in private sector investment.
Básicamente, bajo mi administración se ha invertido 6.5 billones de dólares
In clean
en el sector privado,
energy, advanced manufacturing,
en todo lo que tiene que ver con la energía limpia,
creating tens of thousands of jobs here
creando aquí millones y millones de trabajos,
in America.
aquí mismo en Estados Unidos. Se están dando cuenta que cada palabra de lo que dice Joe Biden se separan.
Thanks. And thanks to our bipartisan infrastructure law,
Y gracias a nuestras leyes bipartidistas,
46,000 new projects have been announced all across your communities. And by the way, I noticed some of you strongly voted against it, or they're cheering on that money coming in. I like it.
ok, aquí tenemos a Anthony Blinken, secretario del Transporte. Tenemos aquí al secretario de la Defensa de los Estados Unidos. Tenemos aquí a Janet Yellen, secretaria del Tesoro.
I'm with you. I'm with you. And if any of you don't want that money in your district, just let me know. Modernize our roads and bridges, ports and airports, public transit systems. Removing poisonous lead pipes so every child can drink clean water without risk of brain damage.
Biden está hablando sobre el transporte, todo lo que tiene que ver con el transporte aéreo, terrestre.
Providing affordable high-speed internet for every American, no matter where you live, urban, suburban, or rural communities.
Hemos creado actualmente la mayor capacidad de Internet en lugares, lugares muy lejos. No importa dónde estés en los Estados Unidos, tienes un Internet muy bueno.
In red states and blue states. Record investments in tribal communities.
Hemos invertido este dinero en comunidades para que tengan un Internet muy alto.
Because of my investment in family farms,
Porque mi inversión viene para las familias.
because I invested in family farms led by my Secretary of Agriculture, who knows more about this than anybody I know, we're better able to stay in the family for those farms and their children and grandchildren won't have to leave home to make a living. It's transformative. The great comeback story is Belvedere, Illinois, home to an auto plant for nearly 60 years. Before I came to office, the plant was on its way to shutting down. Thousands of workers feared for their livelihoods. Hope was fading. Then I was elected to office and we raised the Belvedere repeatedly with auto companies knowing unions would make all the difference. The UAW worked like hell to keep the plant open and get these jobs back, and together we succeeded. Instead of auto factories shutting down, auto factories reopening, a new state-of-the-art battery factory is being built to power those cars there at the same.
Biden está hablando sobre las empresas de auto workers, todo lo que tiene que ver con empresas en el norte de los Estados Unidos, empresas que han sido shut down, han sido cerradas. Él indica que bajo su administración la han recuperado.
Folks, the folks of Belvedere, I say, instead of your town being left behind, your community is moving forward again.
Tus comunidades están avanzando de nuevo,
Because instead of watching auto jobs of the future go
porque están viendo el futuro de nuevos trabajos.
overseas, 4,000 union jobs with higher wages are building the future in Belvedere right here in America. Here tonight is UAW President Shawn Fain, a great friend and a great labor leader. Shawn, where are you? Stand up. And Dawn Sims, a third generation worker, UAW worker at Belvedere. Shawn, I was proud to be the first president to stand on the picket line, and today, Dawn has a good job in her hometown, providing stability for her family and pride and dignity as well. Showing once again, Wall Street didn't build America. They're not bad guys. They didn't build it, though. The middle class built the country, and unions built the middle class.
El presidente está hablando sobre la clase media. La clase media ha construido también lo de la economía de los Estados Unidos.
I say to the American people,
Como le he dicho al pueblo norteamericano,
when America gets knocked down, we get back up.
cuando Estados Unidos está abajo, vamos a volver.
We keep going.
Vamos hacia adelante.
That's America.
Para todos los americanos.
That's you, the American people.
Eso es lo que merece el pueblo norteamericano.
It's because of you America's coming back. It's because of you our future is brighter. It's because of
Porque gracias a ti Estados Unidos está regresando. Porque gracias a ti Estados Unidos está avanzando.
you
Porque gracias a ti
that tonight we can
esta noche,
proudly say the
probablemente lo diré,
state of our union is strong and getting stronger.
porque la unión de los demócratas está fuerte. Ahí están viendo y están gritando 4 more years, 4 años más.
Tonight, I want to talk about the future of possibilities.
Esta noche quiero hablar sobre el futuro de las posibilidades
That we can build together.
que podemos construir juntos.
A future where the days of trickle-down
Un futuro para de todos,
economics are over.
donde la economía no va a terminar,
And the wealthy and the biggest corporations no longer get all the tax breaks. And by
donde las corporaciones no tengan que pagar los
the way,
impuestos.
I understand corporations. I come from a state that has more corporations invested than every one of your states in the state of the United States combined. And I represented it for 36 years. I'm not anti-corporation.
El presidente está hablando de que él ha representado a muchas corporaciones combinadas en los Estados Unidos como nunca antes visto.
But I grew up in a home where trickle-down economics didn't put much on my dad's kitchen table. That's why I determined to turn things around so middle class does well. When they do well, the poor go way up and the wealthy still do very well. We all do well. And there's more to do to make sure you're feeling the benefits of all we're doing. Americans pay more for prescription drugs than anywhere in the world.
Estados Unidos, los estadounidenses están pagando más por recetas médicas como ningún país y ciudadano en otros países.
It's wrong, and
Eso está mal
I'm ending it.
y no puede ser todavía, no puede permanecer eso.
With the law that I proposed and signed, not one of you Republican buddies voted for it, we finally beat Big Pharma. Instead of paying $400 a month or thereabouts for insulin with diabetes, and it only costs $10 to make, they only get paid $35 a month now and still make a healthy profit. And but what to do next? I want to cap the cost of insulin at $35 a month for every American who needs it. Everyone. For years, people have talked about it, but finally we got it done and gave Medicare the power to negotiate lower prices on prescription drugs.
Que actualmente hemos logrado bajar los precios de los medicamentos y la prescripción.
Just like the VA is able to do for veterans. That's not just saving seniors money, it's saving taxpayers money.
Ellos están, no estás guardando dinero, estás guardando, estás ahorrando taxes, impuestos.
We cut the federal deficit by $160 billion. Because Medicare will no longer have to pay those exorbitant prices to Big Pharma. This year, Medicare is negotiating lower prices for some of the costliest drugs on the market to treat everything from heart disease to arthritis. It's now time to go further and give Medicare the power to negotiate lower prices for 500 different drugs over the next decade.
Es hora de cambiar lo que tiene que ver con el Medicare, en lo que tiene que ver a ajustar para bajos costos de los medicamentos.
They're making a lot of money, guys. And they'll still be extremely profitable. Will not only save lives, it will save taxpayers another $200 billion. Starting next year, the same law caps total prescription drug costs for seniors on Medicare at $2,000 a year, even for expensive cancer drugs that cost $10,000, $12,000, $15,000. Now I want to cap prescription drug costs at $2,000 a year for everyone. Folks, I'm going to get in trouble for saying that, but if you want to get in Air Force One and fly to Toronto, Berlin, Moscow, even Moscow probably. And bring your prescription with you, and I promise you I'll get it for you for 40% the cost you're paying now. Same company, same drug, same place. Folks, the Affordable Care Act, the old Obamacare, is still a very big deal.
Biden está hablando sobre el Obamacare, todo lo que tiene que ver con el seguro de vida.
Over 100 million of you can no longer be denied health insurance because of pre-existing condition. But my predecessor, and many in this chamber, want to take this prescription drug away by repealing the Affordable Care Act.